Alright, welcome back to our channel. My name is Daniel. I'm with the Raminfard School of Arts, and today we will be drawing the eye in colored pencils. So I've broken this down into 3 basic steps. Step 1 is the sketch. So most people actually start the eye by outlining the shape of the eye, and I don't think that's a good idea. There's a reason why I started with that ball, is because I kind of want to wrap all of the features around that object, because it literally is an eyeball. So you may be wondering why I'm bringing the eyebrow in so early, and the reason is because I need context. Nothing lives in isolation. I need stuff around the object in order for me to know how it relates to other parts of the eye. Notice that in the early stages I'm trying to avoid creating round lines. Almost all of my lines, for the most part, are angular, and then I start to bring in a curved line if and only if I have to. And that's because people suck at creating curved lines accurately. So it's always more accurate when you draw them flat and then curve them off later. Okay, so now that I have everything in place, I can actually get rid of the ball and focus now on the eye. So with each colored pencil that I'm bringing in, the aim is for me to draw in as broadly as I can some of the colors that I see. So I'm not focused on detail at all. It's very tempting to get into that, but you want to save that for last. Right now what I'm doing is squinting my own eyes and looking at my model and just trying to get roughly the largest possible color shape I can find. So as I'm drawing this all in, I noticed that I missed where my highlight is, so I used an eraser to pick up as much of that area as I could, and then popped in my bright right on top. So here I'm coming in with some very light pink, and this is one thing that a lot of beginners fail to notice, is that you actually see the inside of the bottom eyelid. Unless you're standing below the person's face, almost 80 to 90% of the time you're going to see that inner part of the eyelid. So you have to leave room for that, and that part is almost always going to catch light unless the person's face is lit from below. So it doesn't matter to me whether I'm drawing in black and white or in colored pencils or in painting. Regardless of the medium, my first and foremost goal is to render lighting, because without that, basically, there's nothing to look at. So I am doing my very best to indicate where I see my lights and where I see my darks. Believe it or not, I'm using a medium gray pencil to tone down the color, mute it a little bit, and to make it a little darker, because that's what happens in shadow. So I'm coming in with a darker brown pencil. It's still got a little bit of red to it, but it's a great color to draw in my eyebrows. Few people realize that surrounding the area of the eyebrow, there's a few hairs that don't exactly line up with the eyebrow itself. So putting those in is key to making the brow look natural. Once I add that in, I can now come in with a white pencil to bring in the shine of the hair glowing against the light. So now that I have a nice deep eye socket and the eyelid looks like it's sitting on top of the eyeball itself, I can start to bring in my eyelashes. And eyelashes move in various directions and they vary in thickness, and it's very important to start with a relatively light color at first, which is this lighter brown, and then come in with some of the heavier colors on top. Most people don't realize just how dark the iris is directly under the eyelid, but it's imperative that we get that area significantly darker than the other part of the iris so that it shows that there is this eyelid that is sitting on top and casting a shadow. Note that as I draw my bottom eyelashes, they're shorter, thinner, and more spread out. Again, take note that I'm not getting into my heavy darks until towards the end of the drawing, and I'm going to be using this black right underneath the eyelid to reinforce that sense of darkness on the upper part of the iris. So I come in again with that black pencil only to darken a certain part of the eyebrow. Eyebrows are made up of many colors and we want to put in as many values and tones as we can. Just a few more touches and that'll pretty much finish up the drawing. I want to thank you guys for watching. Kindly like and subscribe and leave any comments or questions you have down below.